Hey everybody, in this video we're going to do a little bit of a division introduction, and we're also going to answer the question together, how are multiplication and division related to one another? So to start off, throughout our whole multiplication unit, you saw multiplication problems like this, right? 4 multiplied by 3 is 12, and you had two factors, 4 and 3, that were multiplied together to get a product of 12, okay? And you could almost think of 4 multiplied by 3 as your parts, and 12, after you've kind of combined those parts or multiplied those parts together, you came up with a whole, okay? And it's really, really important to, to remember those parts and those wholes for their division unit. So now, when you looked at 4 times 3 is 12, in a lot of the word problems you could say that there were 4 groups, like I have drawn down here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, the 4 circles or 4 ovals, and maybe in those 3 groups there were 3 pieces in those groups, and I could show that using the circles below. So I could say, let's say there were 4 groups times 3 groups. I need to have 12 as my whole. So I could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I know altogether that's 12. Now, when we look at division, I have all of these symbols drawn over here on the right, and these are different ways that you'll see division problems represented. But the beauty of division is that it's the inverse operation of multiplication. So over here you had 4 times 3 is 12. Let me erase some of this stuff for you here. Oops. There we go, put that back. You had 4 times 3 is 12, but we can now go 12 divided by 3 could equal 4. And here are some different ways that you would see that written. You might see just using a division symbol. You could see 12 divided by 3 equals 4. Okay? Or you might see this house, right? And that's usually what I call it. I call it a house. Now, I might put inside here 12, which would be called my dividend. And on the outside of the house, over here on the left, I might put my 3, which is called my divisor. And on top, I'll put my answer, which is 4, and that's called my quotient. So just how a product is the answer to a multiplication problem, a quotient is an answer to a division problem. The last one down here we're going to see a little bit, but we'll also mainly see it in our fraction unit. And this little fraction bar here, which is another division symbol, and it's a symbol that you also might see on some calculators. So I might have 12 as my dividend divided by 3, and that might equal 4. Okay? So for practice problem 1, we'll do this one together. And 18 students joined Mr. Ryan's after-school model car club. He wants to create 6 groups that will work together on a project, and how many students will be in each group. So I've given you a division problem, 18 divided by 6 equals y. Y is how many students will be in each group. But looking at it right here, I know that 18 is my whole group of students, okay, which you'll see right over here, 18 students. I know that there are 6 equal groups, that's what I have here, and the y will be the number of students in each group, okay? Now these are usually best solved with arrays when you're dealing with these smaller division problems. So I'll show you this array. And I'm going to create an array of 18 whole students. And it'll be like a 6 by 3 array that we've done lots of times. Make sure I've counted them all right. 3, 6, 9. And I know that I can divide these 18 students into 6 equal groups, and I'll show you how we'll do that right now. I know that I have one group here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So those are my 6 equal groups. But now what the question's asking me to find out is how many students will be in each group. And so all I have to do is count the number of students in one of those groups, and I know that there's 1, 2, and 3. So my answer and the y would equal 3 students in each group. Okay? Now for practice problem 2, what I'd like you to do is to read this problem to yourself. Please hit the pause button, solve it, use the same method that I used in the previous problem with Mr. Ryan's Car Club, and then hit play when you're all set, and we'll check your work. Okay, welcome back. Now that you've read this problem nice and carefully, you know that there's something a little bit different about this one. Still, there are 20 students that signed up for his after-school floor hockey club. Okay? And he wants 5 students to be on each team. And so what we don't know is how many teams Mr. D needs to create. Like in Mr. Ryan's problem, we had to figure out how many students would be in each group. And here, well, we know that. We just don't know how many teams he needs to create. But we still know our whole, okay, which is 20. So I'll do an array the same way I did it before. Make sure it's like a 5 by 4. Keep it easy. All right. And what I'll do is I'll highlight this one so you'll see it. And I just have to kind of highlight 5 students at a time, or 5, and so I can come up with my equal groups. So I know here I'd have, let's see, 1 team right here, 2 teams right here, 3 teams, and 4 teams. And I know I'm going to need 4 teams because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 students on every single team. So I know that my answer is y would equal 4. Don't worry about that point here. Whoops. Erase that so you can see it. I know that that would equal 4 teams of 5 students. Okay? So, once again, in this video we just did a little bit of a division refresher, kind of a review of some of the smaller division stuff that you did last year. We also looked at the relationship between multiplication and division, and we solved some word problems together. So good luck. Any questions, please let me know.